Hey besties, welcome to Mirchi Mocha. I'm Alicia, your ever caffeinated, emotionally fragile mocha, currently deep in my feelings and my luteal phase.
And I'm Preeti, your spicy Mirchi, trying not to cry over a commercial and wondering why my genes hate me today.
Today we're talking about something very real and under discussed, the luteal phase, PMS, and the full body emotional roller coaster that is PMDD.
If you have ever burst into tears because someone looked at you weird or felt like your brain was running on dial up just before your period, welcome to the club.
We're getting honest about hormones, the chaos, and how we actually try to cope with our bodies deciding to stage a hormonal protest.
So grab your heating pad, your chocolate stash, and your comfiest pajamas.
Let's talk about it.
Hey.
Okay, Preeti,
Yeah.
what is your absolute, worst experience in your luteal phase?
Oh my God, there are many. I um I I just pick a fight. That's it.
That is literally how I come to know that I have entered my luteal phase is when I get into a fight with my husband for the most rubbish reason ever. The most literally, if he looks at me wrong, if he says something with a tone that I perceive as wrong,
Exactly.
it's a fight. It's a fight.
Can trigger me during that phase, and it's even my rational thinking goes out of the window. I know it's
Absolutely.
wrong, I know, but I'm like, no, I want to fight and take my eyes out. Like I want a ball, right?
I want to cry. I know. The best thing that I have done, I feel like, about this whole thing is literally have a talk with my husband about what is this luteal phase. And I feel like a lot of men, especially, I feel like, especially, and I don't want to categorize anyone here, but I feel like, especially Indian men, don't have as much of understanding of what is this luteal phase, what are these emotions, what happens. One sec. Pause kar. So I feel like the first step in getting men on board and like having less fights is to really talk about what is the luteal phase with men, like really educate them. And I feel like a lot of Indian men are completely oblivious to
The
these,
hormone thing.
cycles and all of that. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like you need to be the same throughout, and they don't realize how many hormones dance in our body and make us crazy.
Yeah.
I always tell my husband that you have one hormone. I have like four different hormones. Like there are many, but these are the
Yep.
ones.
Yep.
And they go up and down. And based on the hormones, my mood, like they dictate my mood, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
but again, when we are arguing about something stupid, I feel they cannot, I mean, at that point, even their rational thinking doesn't work.
Yeah. The
Like,
ego takes over and
ego takes
everything is gone.
over. Yes, they
Yeah,
don't
everything's
realize
out the
that,
window.
oh, this is not her. It's not
Yeah.
her. Like,
Yeah.
it really took years for my husband to understand when I'm in that phase, it's not me, it's the hormones talking. He
Yeah.
does get angry because I get snappy, I get bitchy. I'm like saying mean things, right? Meanest things, right?
Yeah.
Without, I don't have the intention to hurt him.
Yeah.
I say it because just like Mirchi is coming out.
And I
I
feel like before we even like, if you're talking so much about educating our husbands, maybe even for our audience, let's maybe very quickly discuss what a luteal phase is. So basically, your entire cycle, your entire, menstrual cycle is broken down into four key phases. The first one is your menstrual phase, which starts from the first day of your period and lasts for about a week. The second phase is your follicular phase, which is a really good phase. So if you've noticed, like right after your periods, get done, you're in a really happy place. You're like energetic, you're feeling good, you're not feeling lethargic anymore. That's your follicular phase. That's when you're happy, you're lovey, you're good. The third phase is your ovulation phase. So that's the a week after your follicular phase. Each of these phases last about a week.
Yes.
That's when you are literally at your strongest. The lovey dovey emotions are off the charts. You're really ready to take on a challenge. You're ready to work out, do whatever it takes. And then you get into the dreaded luteal phase, which is the last phase of your cycle. This is right before you get your period.
Almost
And
like
this
a
is when,
1 week to 10 days. It depends on person to person.
yeah,
Mental
yeah.
cycle.
Approximately,
Yeah.
yeah, approximately. And the unfortunate thing is that the luteal phase is literally the longest phase of all of your phases. So you're in this miserable place where you are tired, you're
It's like,
bloated.
you know, your breast pain, breast tenderness, bloating, eating more, like you become a bottomless pit. You can eat anything and everything during that time. Your diet goes out.
Yeah,
You know, your mood swings are bad. You go into that negative space in your head where
yep.
you're thinking about you're not looking good, nobody loves you. Like all
You're
these things which
extra
are not even
sensitive.
real
Yep.
will start creeping into your head.
Yep. And I feel like I have noticed this. I don't even think that this is psychological. I have actually noticed that my face looks different. The texture of my skin is different. It's dry. It's like there's a bit of a grayish appearance on my skin. It's like really unhappy looking skin. Whereas when I'm in my follicular phase, it's glowy. My skin is glowy. I'm feeling stronger. So it's literally true.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing is that here's the thing about society, right? Like men also run on cycles, but they run on a 24-hour cycle
Yeah.
with the rise and the fall of the sun.
Mhm.
Whereas we women run on the rise and the fall of the moon. So we run on 28-day cycles.
Yes.
And the unfortunate fact is that society, the way it's built, is expecting women to run on the cycle that is produced by men. So, like, the entire society is built on what?
They never experienced it, right? They never experienced
Exactly.
what we go through. So, and it's all
True.
male dominated
Yep.
society. So definitely they never thought like how women should feel or how it's okay for women, nothing. I think now
Yeah.
things are changing, but
It's
still,
a slow change. It's a
back from
slow
my
change.
mom and my grandma, like they had no clue about this. Like I am
Absolutely.
reading about it, right? So you're right. I mean, we did not get a good, the society is not balanced in many ways,
Yep.
definitely.
True. That
So
is absolutely true. And the thing is that, how not just women, but like in general, we are made to feel so bad about like, oh, if you're resting, you're being lazy. If you're taking care of yourself, you're being lazy and lethargic. Don't be lazy. Power through it. Even like, and this is not just men, right? Even women, like you hear all these workout classes about like, stick with the plan, not with your mood, this and that, and all of those
yeah,
things, like, great. There's a
doesn't
point to which they're valid, but sometimes you need to listen to your body. If your body is telling you that I'm not capable of working today, I need a break, it's not because you're lazy, it's because you're literally running on a very different cycle than somebody else
and I
you
think
know
because of
yeah,
this, right, the stress, we are getting that cortisol infused fat.
absolutely,
But
absolutely.
cycle we are not able to break, right? We we want to rest,
Yep.
we feel guilty, then we get back to working, and then it's all everything is leading to stress, more stress in our body, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, cortisol is the enemy of all things, that need to function the way they do. I actually met this girl who was telling me that she has gotten into cycle syncing, where basically she plans out her workouts based on which phase of the cycle she's in. So in her luteal phase, in her menstrual phase, she tries to do walking instead of like anything high intensity. In her follicular and ovulatory phase, she does the more rigorous exercises. When she realizes that she's in her luteal phase, she's actually kinder to herself. She's ready to eat a few more calories. She's okay with indulging in a few extra chocolates or, whatever it is that makes her feel comfortable. And I said, that's such a good idea. Like, it is so important to really prioritize how your body is feeling, how your emotions are going, and not really like just be on this rigorous regime of like, oh, I need every day to work the way it is?
I know. I mean, it's whoever says like you have to stick to a plan and do all of that. It's easier said than done. With
Absolutely.
the hormones, you don't have control. You cannot just adjust the levels of your hormone and how your body is uptaking it, right?
Absolutely.
I think the other thing, the solution part, right? Let's talk.
Right.
I think the men should have an app, like how in iPhone you have a health app, right?
Yep, yep, yep.
Tracks your cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think even if they can just start like, okay, today my wife got pregnant, sorry, periods. So you just mark it, right?
Yep,
And then it gives you a signal, right? Like you're coming closer to your luteal,
yep,
or your periods are 5 days away. So
yep.
this way you can, if you know your wife is acting weird, you can look at it and you can think, okay, that's her face, leave her alone, walk away. There's no
And
point of
be
arguing.
absolutely, it's so important. Like, I have a feeling that even in your luteal phase or your menstrual phase, it would go so much easier. And I've had this conversation with my husband where I've like, both of our lives would go so much smoother if instead of handling the situation with a confrontational nature, you need to be very cognizant of the fact that yes, I am having like irrational moments right now. I am, and it's not because I'm crazy. Don't belittle me by calling me crazy or just like dismissing
Yeah,
it
why
as, oh,
would
this is
we?
just a woman thing. It's
Or
not.
yeah,
This is something I honestly cannot control. I literally, this is out of my control. You are in control right now. So, you, as the man who has a better control on his emotions at this point in time, needs to show me some love, some softness, envelop me in love rather than in like try to be combative with me.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
or going like AWOL. They some guys, I mean, they have it, they cannot take it because of the ego, and they will either fight back or walk away. And that's
Abs-
not what we are looking for. We are looking for somebody,
exactly.
okay, you can come and hug me and say, hey, that's fine. I'm sorry that this was set out, this triggered you. Let's not, I will try not to repeat this again. So that's all we are looking for at that point. And I
Exactly.
think if they say sorry, I think we'll feel guilty for saying something mean to them. But I think the men don't, their egos are bigger than them, and they kind
I
of
agree.
step in before
Yeah.
they can do anything about it.
Yeah.
I think they need to be, when you're living for so long, right? Like you need to realize and you need to change your ways instead of
Yeah.
being a man, right? I
True.
mean, it's not something, I don't have a control. I don't have a remote in my hand to adjust my levels, right? And
Yeah.
and people don't realize how horrible it is towards us.
Really, really. That is so articulately said, is that it is so hard to even explain to a man what you're going through. Like the emotions that you're going through, they're so irrational. You're
Yes,
feeling so out of control, right? You're so out of control of your emotions. They just take over your life and you
yes.
can't do anything about it. But the one thing, what I've noticed since we're talking about solutions, I have noticed that distracting yourself from this phase is the key. So meet up with your girlfriends, go out for coffee, do things that are restful for you. Don't take on things that will push you over the boundary. Distract yourself
Walk away from your
emotionally.
husband. Just kidding. No. Yeah, you're right. I mean, having girlfriend dates will help you because you can talk your heart out, you can bitch about
Yeah.
it, and you feel a little bit more relaxed. But
Yeah.
instead of you crying in front of your husband or crying in front of somebody or arguing with them will not gonna help you. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if I were living in a perfect world and like in my perfect scenario, I would do things like to go as far as maybe even like meal prep do, prior to my luteal phase so I don't have to cook then and prep all my favorite things because this is my phase. So if we think about like really, rather than it being, oh, this is a part of my life when I'm just miserable, thinking about it in terms of this is going to be my relaxation time. This is a time where my body needs to relax. So, what can I do to be soft towards myself? What can I do to take care of myself? Can I make things that I love for myself? Can I plan out dates with my friends that I enjoy meeting? So, rather than turning it into a shittiest phase of my month, turn it into the relaxing phase of my month where my priority is myself and what can I do to make myself happy
Exactly.
so that I can make my family happy and keep my family happy and keep my life comfortable, you know?
Exactly. No, I agree. I agree. I think planning ahead and even communicating with your spouse about,
Mhm.
hey, I'm entering into my luteal phase. Let's just back off. If you hear something, say sorry and walk away. Say love me. Say things like that. So I think communicating and expecting men to read your mind is
Such a crucial thing. It's such a crucial thing, but hopefully we'll get there. I think we've started this cycle of, explaining that to men. First of all, of us ourselves realizing that this is
yes.
something important for ourselves, that this is something that we need to do. The second thing is then bringing our spouses, our significant others on board. The third thing is then focusing on how we can make this better.
Yes.
And, when it comes to especially like PMS and PMDD, which I think is such a
It's
dangerous thing, it's a
yeah,
heavy
it
thing.
is a very you can multiply PMS by 100, basically. PMS is much more milder. Like I have PMDD, I've been diagnosed with it, and
Okay.
it's not kind to you. It's very hard on you. It's your emotions are 100 times worse than what you experience in PMS. So you definitely get depressed, you get anxious, you get agitated. The emotions kind of run through you, like
Yeah.
they put you on a roller coaster, basically. But I think one of the things, again, working out definitely helps you because mindfulness, right?
Yeah.
When you do yoga, meditation, that kind of gives you some sense of stability because then it
Hmm.
tells you there's nothing you can control. There are very
Yeah.
few things that you can control. So when you cannot control something, let it go.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
is such a profound way of saying it is that we try so hard, and especially during when we're experiencing PMS, PMDD, when we're going through our luteal phase, we work so hard to try and control, bottle up our
yes,
feelings, try and be the best versions of
that's
ourselves and
when
all
it,
that
it kind of pops out.
explodes, right? Like it finally becomes a volcanic eruption that just all your emotions just explode. Rather than that, I love this point of view where let's be mindful that some things we cannot control. So let's just honor those
Not
feelings.
control. Trust me. I think you can only control your reaction. Or
So
sometimes
true.
with PMS and PMDD, you cannot even do that, right? You
Really,
are like
really.
a tabla. Ab bajao.
I know it's so true. It's so true. But I love the suggestion of using yoga because I feel like yoga is the one exercise that not just focuses on your physical well being, but also your mental well being. It's that balance of mental and physical, which is especially during these phases, right, is so critical, especially for women. I
You
feel like it's,
notice when I'm doing it, you cannot look at anybody else when you're doing yoga. So, because when you're on the mat, right, you are going through your position, changes in posture and asanas.
yep.
Look at anyone. You cannot even think about if somebody's looking at me. I have that anxiety. Anxiety. So
Because now nobody's watching me.
nobody, because everybody's speaking, focusing on their own asanas. Because if you
I love that.
focus, you're gonna fall on your face. So you have to be listening to the instructor's voice. You need to follow her, and so that kind of makes it easier because your mind is going through the cycle of asanas, right? You
Absolutely.
cannot think at that point. You cannot think, "Am I looking fat? Is my boobs
Yep.
crazy? Is my thighs looking crazy? Is my hair looking okay?" So you cannot think any of that. You have to focus on the
Absolutely.
task.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so I love all our suggestions for today. I feel like, just in summary, I think what we've talked about all in all is one, be very conscious as a woman, be very conscious that you are not a little man. You are not living on the 24-hour cycle. You are living on a 28-day cycle. Be very cognizant of that. That's the first thing. The second thing is, instead of perceiving your luteal phase as a miserable point, think of it as the time when your body needs its well deserved rest.
Yes.
The third thing is, prioritize yourselves, prioritize your emotions, and focus on taking care of yourself, whether that is, making your favorite foods or doing yoga to stretch and relax or taking a bubble bath, meeting your girlfriends, whatever it is. But make these your priorities.
Have your
And
me
fourth,
time.
and having me time, exactly. And fourth and most important, communicate with your partner, get them to empathize with your situation and include them in your plan. So I think these are the four sort of key takeaways that we got from today's conversation.
Whew, we went deep, we got real, and we made the little emotional, right? It takes a toll on you. It's kind of hard when we talk about it. So
Yep.
that's a wrap on today's hormonal heart to heart.
If this episode made you feel seen, validated, or just a little less alone in your monthly madness, like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share it with your emotional support group chat.
And if you're currently in your luteal phase, you're not crazy. You're not alone, and we see you, bestie.
We'll be back with more cozy convos and spicy takes next time. But until then, rest, hydrate, and don't let anyone mess with your mood.
Yes. Stay spicy, stay cozy, and stay bestie goals.
Bye.